Hey everyone, picture this. A disabled veteran rolls into a room, mocked by those who should respect him, until a colonel removes her hat, and the laughter stops cold. I'm Malik Jordan, and this is my story of battling prejudice, exposing neglect, and proving courage outshines any title. Stick around. Hit that like button, subscribe, and tell me where you're watching from in the comments. Malik Jordan, 34, wheeled into a packed conference room at Tucson's VA hospital, his gaze steady despite the whispers rippling through the crowd. His wheelchair, a necessity since an IED in Iraq claimed his left leg, glided smoothly, but the stairs cut deep. At the podium, Captain Neil Travers, a VA administrator in a tailored suit, smirked with two colleagues muttering, "What's this guy doing here?" Malik's jaw clenched. Then Colonel Rhett Mower. Elena Vasquez, a silver-haired officer in dress blues, rose from her seat, removed her cover, and saluted. The room fell silent, Travers' smirk vanishing as he realized he'd underestimated a hero. Malik's journey to this moment was forged in sacrifice. A former Army Staff Sergeant, he'd served 10 years, including 2 deployments to Iraq, earning a Bronze Star for shielding civilians during a 2017 ambush, losing his leg in the blast. Now, he ran Horizon Heroes, a Tucson nonprofit helping disabled veterans navigate VA bureaucracy, secure jobs, and combat stigma. Malik's days were a grind, counseling clients, battling delayed benefits, and advocating for those dismissed as broken. His own transition was marred by PTSD and civilian indifference, yet he poured his energy into others. On a sweltering August morning in 2024, Malik attended a VA outreach event at Tucson's Raymond G. Murphy Medical Center. The event, billed as a forum to address healthcare delays, drew 250 attendees, veterans, families, VA staff, and local leaders. Malik was invited to speak on Horizon Heroes' work, his prosthetic leg hidden under slacks, his wheelchair chosen for endurance. As he entered, Travers and his team chuckled, one whispering, another whiner with a sob story. Malik's training, stay calm, assess, act, kicked in. He rolled to the front, locking eyes with Travers, who dismissed him with a sneer. "Save your complaints, vet," Travers said loudly. "This is for real solutions." The crowd shifted uncomfortably. Malik's anger flared, but he kept his voice even. "I'm here to represent disabled veterans," he said. "You invited me?" Travers scoffed, turning to his colleagues with a mock eye roll. Then, Colonel Vasquez, a Desert Storm veteran and guest speaker, stood. Her salute was deliberate, her voice cutting through the tension. "Sergeant Jordan, your service honors us all." Applause broke out, some attendees glaring at Travers, who flushed but stayed silent. Malik's speech was measured but searing. He detailed Horizon Heroes' impact. 450 veterans served, 85% with disabilities, 60% facing VA delays of 6 months or more. He shared stories. A vet denied PTSD therapy, another waiting a year for a prosthetic. Travers interrupted. "We're stretched thin. Don't exaggerate for clout." Malik held up a thick file. "These are 15 cases from last month. Vets waiting 8 months for care. Is that your best?" The room buzzed, but Travers doubled down, calling Malik's data unverified. The event ended in strained silence, Malik's words echoing. That night, Malik sat in his small apartment, staring at his Bronze Star and a photo of his squad in Ramadi. The laughter stung, a reminder of the dismissal he'd faced since his injury. He'd saved lives, yet was mocked by a bureaucrat who'd never seen combat. The next day, he filed a complaint with the VA, attaching a detailed account, witness names, and statements from 3 Horizon Heroes clients, Javier Ruiz, Tasha Coleman, and Kim Nguyen, who'd faced Travers' disrespect. 5 weeks later, the response came. Insufficient evidence. Captain Travers is a valued leader. Case closed. Hours later, an anonymous text pinged. "Back off, cripple. You're nothing." The threat confirmed Malik's fears. Travers was shielded by a VA culture that buried complaints. He'd survived ambushes. He wouldn't back down. He contacted the Veterans Justice League, VJL, a nonprofit defending disabled veterans' rights. His lawyer, Nadia Rivera, reviewed the case with a furrowed brow. Travers has a history, she said, pulling out 10 complaints from disabled vets over 4 years, all dismissed, many followed by harassment. He targets those he thinks won't fight. Vets with visible disabilities, PTSD, no support. Malik's resolve deepened. He thought of Javier, Tasha, Kim, and his clients, fighting for dignity. "I want to sue," he said. Nadia nodded. "Federal lawsuit, Americans with Disabilities Act, veteran rights violations. They'll attack your injury, your PTSD, your nonprofit, even your personal life. You ready?" Malik pictured his bronze eye star, earned through blood and chaos. "I've faced worse," he replied. "Let's do this." Malik's fight wasn't just for himself. It was for every veteran disrespected despite their sacrifice. He spent weeks gathering evidence, balancing Horizon Heroes' demands with legal prep. Javier's fear of losing VA benefits weighed on him, but Malik's squad leader instincts reassured him. Tasha and Kim shared detailed accounts, their courage bolstering his. A new subplot emerged, Malik's outreach to his estranged cousin, Aisha Jordan, a high school teacher who drifted after Malik's injury-strained family ties. Aisha texted, moved by news of the event, offering support. Their cautious calls, reminiscing about Tucson summers, became a lifeline. Suing Captain Travers was a declaration of war, and Malik approached it with a soldier's precision. The Veterans Justice League threw itself into building a case, with Nadia Rivera leading a team to prove Travers's pattern of discrimination. Malik juggled Horizon Heroes, running peer groups, securing grants, mentoring clients, with late-night strategy sessions. The emotional toll was heavy, but his resilience, honed in Iraq, kept him steady. Nadia's team uncovered a damning pattern. Travers' 10 prior complaints, all from disabled veterans, shared eerie similarities: public dismissals, delayed or denied care, and anonymous threats post-complaint. A Navy vet with a prosthetic arm had left Tucson after his apartment was vandalized. An Army vet with PTSD dropped her case when her benefits were lost in the system. The VA's internal reviews cleared Travers each time, citing his outstanding performance and lack of evidence. Malik's account of the outreach event was their cornerstone, backed by 12 witnesses, including Colonel Vasquez, whose affidavit read, "Travers' behavior was a deliberate attack on Jordan's dignity and disability." Nadia cautioned it might not suffice. "The VA will call it a one-off," she said. "We need more. Recordings, documents, anything." Malik tapped his Horizon Heroes network, discreetly asking clients about Travers. Javier, Tasha, and Kim agreed to testify, though Javier feared retaliation, Tasha worried about her daughter's safety, and Kim battled PTSD-induced anxiety. Malik held one-on-one sessions, channeling his leadership to instill confidence while promising VJL protection. A new ally emerged, Major Ritars Marcus Tate, a Horizon Heroes volunteer and Malik's former platoon leader. Marcus, a double amputee, who'd lost both legs in Afghanistan, had mentored Malik post-injury and heard whispers about Travers from VA insiders. He offered to rally other vets, leveraging Tucson's veteran community. "You're not just fighting Travers," Marcus said. "You're fighting for every vet who's been laughed at." Malik's PTSD surged, nightmares of the 2017 ambush, explosions, screams, his leg gone, returning vividly. His therapist, Dr. Lena Choi, helped with mindfulness techniques, framing his anger as fuel. "You're challenging a system that dehumanizes disabled vets," Lena said. "That's a warrior's burden." Anonymous threats escalated. Emails, "Drop it, vet," a defaced Horizon Heroes flyer, a brick through Malik's car window. He reported each to Nadia, who traced some to burner accounts but hit dead ends. Pop, his grandfather, a Korean War vet, had taught him, "Stand tall, even when they try to break you." Marcus delivered a game changer. 3 vets, Omar Khalid, Lila Moreno, and Sam Carter, with evidence. Omar, a Marine vet, had recorded Travers's staff denying him a wheelchair repair while mocking his injury. Lila, an Air Force vet, had emails from Travers dismissing her PTSD claim as drama. Sam, a Vietnam-era vet, provided a video of Travers berating him at a VA clinic. Combined with Malik's account, client statements, Vasquez's affidavit, and a leaked VA memo admitting Travers' insensitivity, the evidence was formidable. Nadia secured testimony from Dr. Rachel Kim, a disability rights scholar, and Dr. Priya Desai, a psychologist, to link Travers' actions to systemic VA bias and its mental health toll. A new subplot deepened. Malik's mentorship of Amira Hassan, a 25-year-old Army vet who'd joined Horizon Heroes after Travers' staff delayed her prosthetic fitting. Amira's story, mocked at a VA appointment, told to deal with it, mirrored Malik's. He guided her through advocacy, helping her file a complaint and find her voice. Amira's grit, despite her youth, became a spark for Malik. The defense would be brutal, Nadia warned. They'll dig into your injury, your PTSD, your nonprofit's budget, even your family ties. They'll paint you as bitter, unstable. Malik reviewed his record. 10 years, 2 deployments, a Bronze Star for saving 5 civilians. That 2017 ambush, shielding a family from gunfire, his legs shredded, defined him. Duty over self. Now, he'd fight for respect. Doubts crept in. Would the jury see him as a hero or a problem vet? Would Aisha's support hold under pressure? The trial opened on a chilly April morning in 2025, the Tucson Federal Courthouse buzzing with spectators. Local media hyped the disabled vet versus VA clash, with outlets like K-Gun 9 focusing on drama over stakes. Malik wheeled in, wearing a charcoal suit with an army pin, his presence commanding despite the stares. Captain Travers strode in, suit pristine, his demeanor curated arrogance. His lawyer, Paul Kendrick, a former DA, had coached him to project professionalism, a leader under attack. Kendrick's opening leaned on Travers' 16-year VA career, citing awards, budget efficiencies, and testimonials from superiors. Malik, he claimed, was a troubled veteran with PTSD, exaggerating a single incident for attention and damages. Mr. Jordan's disability doesn't exempt him from accountability, Kendrick said, hinting at malingering. He referenced Horizon Heroes' tight budget, implying mismanagement, and Malik's estranged family, nodding to Aisha's absence pre-trial. The jury, 7 men, 5 women, including 2 veterans, a Gulf War Marine and a Vietnam-era sailor, listened closely. Nadia's opening framed Travers as a discriminator. Captain Travers targeted disabled veterans, dismissing their needs and dignity with impunity, she said. We'll prove a pattern of abuse, enabled by a VA that buries complaints to protect its own. The veteran jurors nodded, a promising, signed. Travers testified first, claiming his comments were misunderstood and denying bias. He called Malik's speech disruptive and his data unverified. Nadia's cross-examination was relentless, presenting Vasquez's affidavit. Travers deliberately mocked Jordan's disability. She played Omar's recording, Lila's emails, and Sam's video, each exposing Travers' cruelty. Travers stammered, insisting it was out of context. The jury's faces hardened, the Gulf War Marine juror shaking his head. Malik took the stand, his voice steady despite Kendrick's onslaught. Mr. Jordan, your nonprofit's finances are shaky, correct? Kendrick pressed. Horizon Heroes serves vets, not profits, Malik replied. Kendrick smirked. Your PTSD fuels this vendetta, doesn't it? You're angry, isolated even from family. Malik felt Aisha's eyes from the gallery, a quiet strength. He nodded to Nadia, who presented his Bronze Star and citation. Malik set it on the table, the bronze catching the light. The courtroom froze. Judge Daniel Torres, an Army reservist who'd served in Kuwait, leaned forward reading. For heroic actions, shielding civilians under fire, sustaining grievous injury. Counselor, Torres said to Kendrick. Do you understand the Bronze Star's weight? Kendrick faltered. It's for bravery, Your Honor. Torres's tone was sharp. It's for extraordinary heroism, often at life's cost. Mr. Jordan lost his leg saving lives. Were you aware when you called? Him troubled? Kendrick's bravado shattered. Nadia presented Javier, Tasha, and Kim's statements, Omar, Lila, and Sam's evidence, and the VA memo. Dr. Kim linked Travers' actions to systemic bias, citing data. 40% of disabled vets face VA delays versus 15% of non-disabled. Dr. Desai detailed the psychological toll, noting Tasha's panic attacks and Kim's withdrawal. Amira's testimony, though brief, was powerful. Travers's staff laughed at my prosthetic delay. I felt invisible. Malik's closing was calm, but piercing. I serve to protect, not to be mocked by those who should serve us. I'm here, for every vet, Javier, Tasha, Kim, Amira, who's been dismissed. The jury deliberated for 8 hours. Malik sat with Marcus, Nadia, Aisha, and Amira in the courthouse hall, nerves taut but hope alive. Javier, Tasha, and Kim joined, their presence a reminder of the stakes. The verdict, guilty on all counts of discrimination, harassment, and ADA violations, sparked relief. Travers's face was ashen, his authority gone. The courtroom buzzed, but Malik stayed focused, knowing the fight was far from over. The verdict sent shockwaves through Tucson. Headlines shifted from Vet Sues VA to Disabled Hero Exposes VA Neglect. Veteran networks like the VFW amplified Malik's story, with Horizon Heroes trending across platforms. Malik's inbox flooded, gratitude from vets, outrage from families, interview requests from NPR and the Arizona Republic. He declined most, prioritizing Horizon Heroes, but gave a brief quote. This is for every vet told to shut up. Travers was terminated, his pension revoked, and faced federal fines and community service. The VA, under national scrutiny, launched a system-wide audit of complaint processes, hiring independent investigators. Javier, Tasha, Kim, and Amira refiled complaints, their cases fast-tracked. 6 other vets came forward, their stories echoing Malik's. He met them at Horizon Heroes, forming a support circle to share pain and strategy. You gave us courage, Kim said. Malik shook his head. We did this together. Marcus's town hall grew into a movement, with VA nurses Maria Delgado and Samir Khan organizing monthly veteran VA dialogues. Over 300 attended the second event, including Tucson's mayor, who praised Malik. Maria gave him a plaque signed by 50 VA staff. Thank you for demanding better. Malik hung it in Horizon Heroes lobby, beside a mural of Tucson's Catalinas. Samir, whose sister was a vet, became a Horizon Heroes volunteer, mentoring Amira. Aisha's support deepened, her teaching skills shaping Horizon Heroes literacy program for vets. Their bond, once strained by Malik's post-injury withdrawal, grew through weekly dinners, where Aisha's stories of their childhood grounded him. The trial drained Malik's savings and PTSD symptoms. Flashbacks of the ambush, the weight of civilian screams, persisted. Lena's therapy helped, as did Aisha's encouragement and Amira's progress, who enrolled in community college, inspired by Malik to study social work. A new subplot emerged. Malik's work with Khalid, a 23-year-old Marine vet harassed by a different VA clerk. Malik guided Khalid's complaint, securing the clerk's suspension, a win that energized Amira and Marcus. The verdict spurred systemic change. The Veterans Justice League launched Valor Haven, a national program offering legal aid and counseling for discriminated vets. Malik advised, training advocates in 10 states. Tucson's VA adopted disability sensitivity training, with Malik and Maria co-designing it. He testified before Arizona's legislature, his 15-minute speech helping pass the Veteran Equity Act, mandating VA oversight and penalties for bias. Malik stayed grounded, rejecting hero status. At Horizon Heroes, he helped Javier secure benefits, Tasha land a nursing job, Kim access therapy, and Amira launch a veteran blog. Aisha's program boosted clients' confidence, serving 500 vets yearly. Marcus's dialogues became a national model, with Phoenix and El Paso adopting them. Malik's bronze star beside Pop's photo symbolized battles ahead. 18 months post-trial, Malik stood stronger, his wheelchair a badge of resilience. Horizon Heroes became a regional hub, with Valor Haven supporting vets in 20 states and partnerships with the VA and American Legion. Malik trained advocates, spoke at national VA conferences, and mentored clients, focusing on Javier, Tasha, Kim, Amira, and Khalid, whose growth mirrored his own. Reforms gained momentum. Tucson's VA implemented mandatory bias training and a veteran ombudsman with Malik Consulting. The Veteran Equity Act inspired a federal bill, the Veteran Dignity Act, co-sponsored by Arizona's senators. Valor Haven secured $1.5 million in grants, easing Malik's financial strain and funding a new Horizon Heroes campus. Traverse's penalties, $50,000 in fines, 500 hours of service, closed a chapter. Though Malik knew other Traverses existed, Malik's personal growth was profound. Lena's therapy tamed his PTSD, reframing flashbacks as proof of survival. Aisha became a constant, co-leading Horizon Heroes education wing and hosting family barbecues, where her daughter called Malik Uncle. A new subplot emerged. Mentoring Caleb Ortiz, a 40-year-old Navy vet and former squad mate who'd struggled with alcoholism post-service. Caleb reached out, inspired by Malik's win, seeking redemption. Their talks about war, loss, and purpose helped Caleb join Horizon Heroes, leading outreach for homeless vets. The support circle thrived, with Javier running peer groups, Tasha mentoring single moms, Kim advocating for mental health, Amira blogging on veteran rights, and Khalid interning at Horizon Heroes. Malik hosted Pop's Rally, a festival honoring his grandfather's belief in community. Over 200 vets gathered at a Tucson park, with Maria, Samir, and the VA director volunteering. Aisha brought her students, their energy a spark. Caleb shared his recovery story, inspiring Khalid. Malik felt Pop's spirit, his lessons alive in this chosen family. Challenges persisted. A smear campaign by Travers allies, fake reviews calling Horizon Heroes a fraud, hurt donations. Malik and Nadia countered with client testimonials, but the stress lingered. Rare anonymous texts, "You'll pay, vet," surfaced, though Malik ignored them, fortified by his community. Khalid's case grew, exposing a second VA clerk, a win that fueled Amira's advocacy. Malik moved to a bungalow near the Catalinas, a sanctuary for healing. Aisha, Amira, and Khalid helped decorate, hanging his bronze star beside a Pop's Rally mural. The festival became annual, a declaration that veterans deserved respect, not ridicule. As summer neared, Malik hiked a wheelchair-accessible trail. With Caleb and Amira, their bond a testament to second chances. "You changed the game," Caleb said. Malik smiled. "Just followed my oath. Serve and protect." 2.5 years after the trial, Malik stood at the 4th Pop's Rally, hosted at Horizon Heroes' new Tucson campus. Over 300 veterans, families, and allies gathered under a desert sunset, the air rich with mesquite smoke and music from a veteran band. Malik watched Javier lead a job fair, Tasha run a kids race, Kim and Amira host a mental health booth, Khalid speak on a youth panel, and Maria, Samir, Aisha, Marcus, and Caleb weave through the crowd, their laughter a symphony. This was his legacy, a community rooted in dignity, resilience, and accountability. Traverse's case faded from headlines, but its impact endured. He completed his penalties, barred from VA work, a cautionary tale. The Veteran Equity Act spurred laws in 30 states, and the Veteran Dignity Act passed Congress, mandating national VA standards for disability care. Valor Haven supported 6,000 vets across 45 states, with Malik as national director, advising Pentagon and VA panels. Tucson's VA became a reform model, training cities like San Diego and Boise. Malik's personal life flourished. Aisha and her family were fixtures, hosting weekly dinners where Malik taught her daughter Army cadences. Marcus led Horizon Heroes. Expansion. Caleb's outreach housed 50 homeless vets, and Lena's therapy eased Malik's PTSD, letting him hike without flashbacks. Amira, now a social work major, won a Valor Haven case against a biased VA clinic, dedicating it to Malik. Khalid, a full-time Horizon Heroes staffer, spoke at national VA events, his confidence soaring. A letter from a young Army specialist read, "You showed me my disability doesn't define my worth." Malik filed it with thousands, each a spark of his impact. He declined CBS News but accepted a quiet award from the Disabled American Veterans, dedicating it to his clients. At Pop's rally, he spoke briefly. "I didn't fight Travers for me, but for every vet. Javier, Tasha, Kim, Amira, Khalid told their less. Our service demands respect, and we'll keep earning it." The crowd roared, but Malik stepped back, letting Javier, Tasha, and Amira shine. Later, he reflected. On his oath, serve with honor. Travers's disrespect was an enemy to that oath. Pop's words rang, stand tall. He had, and he'd keep standing. The festival ended with a toast to Pop, to veterans, to justice. Malik's bronze star hung beside Pop's rally photos, symbols of battles won and futures built. The fight wasn't over. New Traverses would rise, but Malik was ready, armed with truth, courage, and a community that stood tall. Have you faced or witnessed disrespect as a vet? Share your story in the comments. I'd love to hear how you fought back or lifted others. If this story hit home, smash that like button, subscribe, and share with anyone who needs to know their way. Service matters. Honor isn't in titles or medals. It's in standing for what's right. Thanks for watching, and let's keep the fight for justice alive.